Okay, hi everybody. Sorry I'm late, quite late actually. Thanks for sticking around. So basically, today's 13th of November 2017. Um, we're extremely late, but we shall get going and see what we can cover as fast as possible. So updates. Oh, usual announcements on webinar. If you have questions and ideas and so on, then feel free to raise your hand. We'll get the mics open and we'll discuss requirements. I know we've already got one today regarding calendar. But before we do that, let me quickly show what is coming up. So obviously we've been working on this new way of selecting the color themes from CodeJock. So we've made it much easier now. So here is the command bars. We're going through the products at the moment, getting them released, but basically, sorry, getting them updated, ready for release. Let's show you the new interface on the global extension. So basically, you've still got the CodeJock version and so on, but it comes to this section here. So once you've got your theme and you select whichever theme you're after, so we'll say Office 2013, you've got the style. Previously you would type that in, but there are drop downs now of all the different ones which are part of the Office 2013 DLL. So you can see there's quite a few. So if we went with, let's say, Excel, so it's Office 2013 Excel, we will have to be in a newer version because that was only really supported in a newer version. And let's just compile that and run. So let's run that. That looks very similar because that's basically that is the now that wasn't planned. Let me just try that again. Sorry about that. Better make sure I've not upset anything because I've been running this so many times. Office Access 2016, colourful. This is the new access. Not quite sure why we got the initial crash. I'll take another quick look. But basically, these are basically the new themes that you're seeing. This is just one of them. Let's just go back, just run it afresh and see why we got that particular issue. Oh, sorry, I know why. Sorry, and believe it or not, that is okay. What I'm doing there is I've got the old versions of the theme files in a subfolder. So what I really need is to be running the latest, and I've got them in the current work folder. So let me cover that quickly, compile that and show you again. Yeah, basically these are some tests that I was performing. These are the test apps. So here we can see, now we've got the green highlight rather than blue, and we go into it and there's Excel with the green and the green highlights as you would expect. So basically what we had there was in the working directory, I've got the new 2013/16 DLLs, which are shipped with the new CodeJock version 18. And in a subfolder, I had the old version 16 DLLs. And basically you have to makes sense, you use the theme files from the relevant CodeJock version that you're using. What I was doing there was basically mixing them up. And of course I got an issue because they're not compatible with each other. So it's a good point for everyone to note. If you're going to use version 18, make sure you ship the version 18 style DLLs with your application. Using version 17, use the 17 style DLLs, 16 DLLs, and so on and so forth. Kind of common sense, but just want to watch out for, and it can catch you out. back to that interface again. So as you can see, we've got these. If we selected the Office 2016, of course, there's different ones there. As I say, that used to be a DLL, sorry, a specify, and you would put them in. You've still got a specify option should you want to, and that's where you can manually type in what the setting is. For example, it could be, if I would select Word and then go back to specify, I thought it might have filled it in for me. Thought I might be able to cheat. But basically, yes, basically all the settings which are some are in the CodeJock help, some aren't, to be fair, which is a bit of a shame. Unless you're going out of your way, I would just use these. So we'll go with PowerPoint colourful. I can't remember what PowerPoint colour themes are like, to be fair, but we'll take a quick look. Looks like it's darkish. That's more like that looks a bit like Access as well. But yeah, basically these are the PowerPoint colours. And they are the theme settings. All of them are there. Hell of a range to choose from now, including the new Visual Studio 2015. So you've got blue, dark, light, and again a specify. So we can go with Visual Studio 2015. And we've got that. And of course that takes on the Visual Studio colours as well. All compatible in all the different products that I'm going through at the moment. So there's the command bars, and of course you can switch these at runtime. Go with Office, we'll load Office, as you've just seen, and still go back to the old ones. Office 2010, Office 2010. So you've still got, all the settings available to you. And if we quickly look at the calendar, you can see that in the new colours as well. Just a couple for today to show you. Same interface. So let's choose our new Office. We'll go with 2013, and we'll go with Excel or OneNote. I think that's an orangey colour from memory. Yep, we'll just choose some of that. Go into the, oh no, purple, sorry, yes. But basically there's your Office, I think it was Office 2016, was it? And they are your, or 2013, and that's your calendar. And basically this is the same approach with all of the products that allow you to apply the theme settings. So these are currently going through, wanted them out today actually, but through late meetings and so on, but they will be out tomorrow. Some of them are already there. There is a small caveat which is worth taking note of, everybody, and that is previously you would have had something specified in here, not to do with the CodeJock version, mainly to do with the theme settings. Certain products, I think the golden rule is they're not going to be backwards compatible, which means if you've got your application and you specified Office 2010 blue, then you're going to have to, when you apply the new version 4, you're going to have to go into your apps and re-specify Office 2010 and blue. I'm sorry about that, but the way we had to make it commonly available and future-proof it ready for the new resource template, which is coming along, then we had to basically create new template variables, and the equates of them are not compatible with the old ones under certain circumstances. The calendar actually technically probably is, or parts of it are, but the command bars definitely wasn't. So if you're using command bars, you would have to go and re-specify the color. It's no big deal. It's very simple. Just open your app, global extension, and re-specify the theme that you want to use. So, but it is worth noting, and I will put an update notice during the installer to that effect. Any questions on that? Let me just have a quick look at the question box. Make sure.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good. And there was also the loading of the color themes was optimized while I was at it. So basically, they will actually load a little faster. And before, I could see a couple of little, I won't say problems, but basically I reworked the code so it's optimized and it's faster, and it's just generally better, to be fair. So it's a win-win-win in my mind.
Cool.
So that's that. Okay, one of the questions we had, not seeing other questions yet, so that's good, was Kevin. So let's open Kevin's mic. And Kevin, oh, you got your hand up, so.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh, good. Good morning or good afternoon.
Good. I was going to say good morning to you. Good afternoon for me, but yeah.
So my question was, we have a user that would prefer on the calendar have the time scale across the top and the resource ID is down the right-hand side because they have 10 or 15 technicians, but there's only 8 hours in a day, so it's much easier to see what they're doing.
Right. Okay. The calendar, there's good news and bad news on it, basically. The bad news is the calendar doesn't support it, and you're not the first to ask for it. It's been asked numerous times. It does have this timeline mode, but like so.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's not a solution in my mind. But
no, because it doesn't show your resources down very nicely.
No. So the bad news is the calendar doesn't support it. The good news is the best way of displaying that in my mind would be the report control in trackbar mode, and that is what does support it. An example. Well, let me show you the actual report control in trackbar. So, one second. So here's your track control, and these are what you could have as your staff members. So you could have your schedules down there. Imagine the calendar here. Let me just bring that calendar there. So they would be your staff 1, staff 2, staff 3, for example. And across the top would be your hours in the day. And then you can have basically your calendar events here, but let them be moved like so. And you can, just like in the calendar, you can say whether this is resizable or movable. You can also carry those settings across to this, so they can be set to be resizable, yes or no, movable, yes and no, and that type of thing. So you would have to use a combination of the two. If you aren't using the recurring events from the calendar, then you could actually skip the calendar and go straight into the report control. But if you're using recurring events, then you would want to use the calendar to do the populating of the data and then read from the calendar straight into the report control. And that's what I do in one of my apps. So I can actually show you that going now. Did I click that?
And I presume you can drop it from one, you can drag and drop.
Yeah, so we can say, like, pull that and put it down there for me. That type of thing, yeah. Doesn't look like my application there is starting up. And just wondering whether I've got the actual database connected up. Won't be a second. Let me take a quick look. Must be that the database isn't available. No, okay. won't be a second. Just have a look at why that is.
No rush.
Okay, pointing at the wrong database. I haven't a clue how that came about. Really haven't a clue, but okay. Oh, yes, it's synchronized to my laptop. Of course it's going to do that. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so in the scheduling here, the resource, what we have is a calendar being populated with recurring events. So we've got one event, and it's in there repeating maybe once a day, sorry, once a week, or maybe twice a week, so on. Depends on that particular person's attendance to a center. And then I'm taking the data from that. So the calendar's here, and the date picker's attached to it for loading and so on. But the calendar is hidden. I don't visually need the calendar on show because it wouldn't lend itself to this environment, but I need its data. I need its recurring data. So I hide the calendar. I basically load the data into it, the recurring events, let it paint the days accordingly, according to the pattern and the exceptions, and then I put the data into a report control, showing the times of the day across the top, so we can see that different people are going to be visiting the center for different times. Mm-hmm. And then basically I've just confirmed that, or I could change their time so they are only attending to 11 a.m. So, and of course I can let them move it, and that will change their time. I've got it up at the top. I just let you particularly see the event and resize accordingly. But that's changing the data to the database. So now I'm creating an exception to a recurring event.
Right.
So bad news and good news. The bad news is the calendar, no, that doesn't do it for you. And various people have asked, not just our users, but various people have asked on the forums as well. And for a long time, and Kojok don't seem to have any interest in doing that. They want to keep it just as a calendar control. They will point you in the direction of this. And to be fair, this does a very good job of painting that data.
Yeah. I just got to convince my client they didn't have to buy another product.
Yes. Yes.
And then I have to code the window to handle all these new events.
Oh, no, it's not too bad. Because you can get it if you keep your code going via a calendar, but visually. I mean, you might think in your application, maybe you want both on show. You want the calendar at the top.
I could probably end up making it a tab switch, calendar mode versus timeline mode, or whatever you want.
Yeah, I think in one of the training sessions we've done, let me have a quick look on on our network. Training workshops, I think it was maybe not 2017, 2015, the Formula One application. Yeah, we have a look. Let me just open this. This is one of our training applications, which we did, and we went to the schedule, and here you can see you've got a list feeding a calendar, feeding a report control.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean, at least I can tell them there is an option. They just now have to decide whether they want to invest in it.
Yeah, apologies. It's doable, but only via that. The calendar itself doesn't support it. So, I mean, you wouldn't want all this. You'd want along the lines of the calendar up there.
Yeah, then I just have a tab. Well,
actually, I can't move that one. So, you just put it on a tab itself.
Yeah, yeah, because the screen is already busy enough that would drive the users nuts seeing that much stuff on one screen.
Oh yes, agreed. No, to be fair, this is a training application, so that's why it's so busy. But yes.
Okay, well, no, good. I'm glad I was not just missing a feature. So,
No. But yeah, you to go back to that, and the other example just showed what you've got your calendar, and as you're moving you've got your code tied into the calendar, obviously. So if somebody picks up an event and moves it from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., you've already got your code working to trap that and update the record or create an exception if it's recurring, that type of thing. So you've got all your code in there. So all you really do is you take the data from the calendar, you use the find events method, you populate the track bar with that data, and then when the blocks are moved within the track bar, instead of writing back to your database and doing all the work again, you just change the event within the calendar. And of course, that's just the same as a user going changing it from 10 to 11. You've done it on the track bar 10 to 11. All the code underneath the calendar still triggers. So basically, you don't have to go and rewrite your code.
that would help a lot. Okay.
Yeah. So we've done it in such a way where we minimise the workload for you, but you still get the results, the desired results out of it.
Perfect.
So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Okay. Any other questions? Very quiet one. Okay. It looks like today's going to be an extremely short webinar. No, can't see any questions coming in. Of course, in fairness, it's probably my fault for starting the webinar extremely late due to unforeseen circumstances. Well, the updates will be. Roberto saying, "Why is the sky blue?" I think Roberto, I'll open the mic just to tell you off. Yes, basically the updates to the command bar, the command bars to the code job wrappers will be with you tomorrow. Should have been today, but they will be with you tomorrow. Some are already done. The command bars prove to be the hardest, which is typical of command bars. But as you've seen, that's fine. A little faster as well, so you've got an optimization out of it. But you will get your updates out tomorrow. There'll be a little update notice because you have to re-specify your theme. But once you've done that, you'll be good to go.
I have a question.
Oh.
Uh-oh. That's a real question.
Real question. This is on the Chillcat template, so I was looking at the HTML stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have a question about that, too, but after John.
Mine's about SSL, being able to post secure stuff, HTTPS stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And I was looking through it, I wasn't sure how to do it, I guess.
Okay, let's bring in the HTTP class then. So here's one I prepared earlier. What I use a lot of, I've got to admit, is REST. I find that's one of the best ones, but let's just open up the class. Trying to find the actual thing here. Now, open this, open the REST, and we'll open the HTTP at the same time. Both are probably the same, but are you doing a get or a post or a put?
Post.
Okay. So basically, now, what data are you both? Does it have a body? What you're posting?
It's got a header. It doesn't have a body.
Right. And do you
It's
do
to talk
kind
to,
of? Oh, go on.
I was going to say it's to talk to Twilio, and they just have you post a header into it.
Right. Do you have to establish a connection to start with?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. You see, I've just been doing some. I've been doing some work on EasyPost, and I will normally use the REST. I will call the connect with your port, and you can say whether it is. Nope, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Oh, hang on a second. Let me just open up. I'll just take this off screen a second. Won't be because mine's on an SSL.
No, everybody close their eyes. No, wait. Let me type it in backwards.
Turn it around.
Turn it around. Nah, that was a classic.
Okie dokie. Where are we?
Roberto, I heard you.
Did somebody say something?
Yes, but I don't know. Don't know what.
Who it was? Was it you, John? No.
No, it wasn't me.
Somebody has
Roberto, that was me. This is Arnold. I heard you.
But you're not on the list, Arnold.
Arnold's always.
Oh, yeah, you are. You're the organizer. Okay. Yeah, of course it was you.
Okay,
and we
so
loved it.
just quickly looking at my code to see how I've just done it, and I've just been working on this today as well.
Yeah.
So it won't be a second.
This seems like it might be good for one of your helper things.
Yes. Yeah. We'll put it on the list. But in fact, I think I've got a thing for it myself. Okay, shipping. So I call the connect. I give it the host, which of course I give it the port, which is 443 for SSL, is it not?
Yeah.
True for use TLS and some kind of auto reconnect. So I'll give it 5000. And then I would use my full request. Personally, for me, I always use the string builder one. I find it by far the easiest. So, for example, I can actually show, here's one thing where I'm building a shipment query. So where are we now? I'll grab that code, let's put it into here. So, what I would normally do is define a couple of string builder request and response objects, which of course the class will do for you now, the newer version. And I'll use a JSON object because the particular content of this wants to be in JSON. So I'll have those, I'll clear them. I'll build my JSON content nice and easy. So it's just literally update a string, and I'm just building up what I want to pass it. Clear the headers of the REST, by which time we've already done this connect. No, sorry. Have we already done the connect? Yes, sorry, it's up there. There. I open up the socket, do a connect on the socket, that's right. Then I'll do the REST to do the clear the headers of the REST, add my header. So maybe you have, if it's just an authorization and you have an API key, so it'll be bearer space and your API key. The content type is application JSON, and then I will do the post. So I'll do a post to what particular part of the website you need to do the post against. I'll pass it my pre-built request object, which is the string builder, and I'll receive the response in my string builder response.
Oh, okay.
I do use those quite a lot. I use it in all my Google stuff, in the Dropbox, and so on and so forth. It is the best way of doing it, I find, especially with JSON, because it just lets you build up the JSON so much easier this way, and then pass it straight in. Oh, the JSON gets emitted. Sorry, I missed that one line there. That's important. Emit the JSON into a string builder object. into the request. And then when I get my response, the response is along the lines of, so I've got my response, my JSON object, I clear it. You don't necessarily have to clear it, I just do it as belts and braces really. I bring in I populate the JSON from the load string builder, and I pass it the response object. And then basically you just go through your array. So I've got some rates coming back, so I just get the size of the array, the rates array, and I just go through and just get the particular different elements of it.
Looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but the key for yours is I have a connection so I can retain a connection open, and so on. It just makes it faster. First time you've got to establish a connection. After that, of course, it'll be a lot faster. But yes, basically, I use a socket, and then I'll use the REST to do the. So that's your main one there. You can build your content in whichever manner you want to, but basically, get a connection, get your content into your request object. So I'm using a JSON content, so I'm emitting it into a string builder object into my request, and then basically is I clear the headers, I build my authorization, and do the post, passing it the two objects, the request and the response.
Okay. I'll give it a go.
So now I've done this in the past. Twilio, is it TW?
Yeah, TWILIO.
Yep. So what's their? Because as you say, and it can be one of the early ones. Let's do a task for it. Let's have a look at their API. Get a free API key. Let's put a task class on that. That makes perfect sense. Any docs on there?
Yeah, API reference. There it is.
Yeah.
Down below there.
I think it was online actually before. Greg. Yeah, Greg. He's one of the attendees here at the moment. We did something I think we used NetTalk because it was probably a good 12 months, if not more, that I did this. But no, I will add. Oh, there's a REST interface, so I would go down that one, John.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
That's your query and manage your metadata about your account, phone numbers, usage, access tokens. Yeah. Yep, just taking a quick look. And you have your authorization token. Pass it as SID and that. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I can't do it now, but I will start a task class on that this week. And John, if you want to connect up, we can have a quick look at that together if you like, and I'll pass you the task class, which of course will go into the next build. Tomorrow's going to be a tough one, but if you want to do either tomorrow afternoon, I'll see if I can do it, or failing that, give us a shout on Wednesday, and we can actually see about knocking it around and getting at least the basics going.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So there you go, everybody. In the next build, you will have the basis of a Twilio, if I'm pronouncing that right, task class.
Cool.
Very
Now to
cool.
get Twilio to using it in one of my apps or something. But it doesn't work with Mexican
Really?
Really?
phone.
They're in a lot of countries, I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
They control their own. They're kind of.
SUPIs, create your revoke authorization tokens. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think you'd be able to do that.
API.
Yeah, and I think you'd be able to do that a little different with the REST class as well. Clear auth. What are the auths are there? Because on the Google, I used get authorization. Yeah, I'm sure there's other stuff to do with it. Yeah, set off Google, and whether you're using OAuth 1 or OAuth 2, set authorization. That will probably be what you're after. S.set authorization. No. Yeah, so it'll be bearer. So there's me doing set property on the other code. Did I do that, or did I do? Oh no, I just added it as an header. But what you could have done is set authorization, and that would have replaced that line for you. So I could have just done set authorization, bearer, and my API key, and that would have done it for you. In fact, I think I do that in the Google class as well. But Google, as it has its own Google Auth in there as well. So yes, John, give it a shout. Like I say, tomorrow afternoon I will try. And failing that, we can have a quick look on Wednesday.
I guess they do have it in Mexico, but it's like 10 times more expensive than North.
Really?
Than what you pay here. Yeah. You pay here like 0.0075 or something like that, and in Mexico you got 0.04, so 4 cents
Richard,
per message.
I've just opened, Richard, a couple of questions. Are the webinars recorded? I'll just open the mic, just say hello. Although you actually logged in twice, Richard. So hello twice.
Yeah, I already responded to him, Andy. I already responded to him. Just check the checkbox on the top. Uncheck it.
Oh, okay. Got you. Yes. So basically, yes, Richard, they are, and they're on our Google. We've got a couple. I think the last one and this one to upload, but they're on our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, look for Noyantis, and you'll see them all on there.
I didn't tell him that, so that's good. Hey, Kevin has a comment for you.
Kevin,
or do you already get that?
They went for Kevin. We've discussed and Greg confirmed that. Yeah, when we looked at Twilio in the past, I think it was good. Oh, crack! It's got to be a good 18 months ago, if not more, maybe even more now. We did do the in-net talk. Obviously, now I'm going to do my own task class in this, so it will be a very simple. John, the idea is we'll probably have along the lines of one established connection to, there'll be a method for send text, send, make call, that type of thing. Make it really nice and simple.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Go.
So,
I got a question when you're ready.
yeah, fire away.
Hey, I had a question before that.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Yeah. I said after John, but okay, I can wait. Go ahead.
You sure?
I've got to say, I don't want to upset anybody.
Okay. Okay, this is with command bars.
Yes.
So when I have, how I have the mainframe, I have the ribbon bar.
Yep.
Then I call another procedure that has a ribbon bar also.
Yes.
So when I have the second ribbon bar procedure window open, the main menu on the app frame shows the menu items, but none of the calls can get called. They show, but they don't run. If I close the procedure with the ribbon bar, it runs, but only one at a time. So is that something that I might have checked recently in the template that could cause that? Because I've been searching through my code where, number one,
now you've got a fault there, because just let's say, well, this one here, obviously that's there. That's open, so we can of course use this, and we can see it doing the.
No. I'm talking about the
use this as well.
Menu. No, I'm talking about using the Clarion menu, not your menu.
Oh, okay.
It affected the Clarion menu, not any of your controls.
Right. There is an option on there to, mind you, you've got an option on there to hide Clarion menu, but you must have it unticked.
No, it's unticked because it's showing.
Yep.
And it shows the submenus. It's kind of weird. So if it isn't yours,
Well, let's just
I have to
put it on here. Let's untick that because I've got it ticked in this example. But that's no problem. We can quickly undo that.
Oh, I have the menu showing, so it's.
Yep. Include Clarion hide. So we'll have it showing as well.
Okay.
So we'll have you've got a window open, and then you're saying if you go onto one of these, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yours does.
Yeah, I was going to say, it definitely should work, and they should all still talk to our MDI class and so on and so forth. Yeah, there should be no reason.
So there's nothing in your system that would
Block.
block the calls.
Are you mimicking or cloning any of the controls off the Clarion menu?
I do.
Clone or mimic?
Not clone, but mimic.
No, mimic could be fine. Yeah, mimic could be fine because technically that's what this control is here. Sorry, not that one. Yes, that one. If you look at the examples there, ribbon, then you got command bar, and basically those are mimicked off the Clarion menu.
So it looks like I got to dig deeper. I don't know how that happened, but
yeah. The reason I mentioned about the clone is that can take charge of the Clarion control and change its parentage, but you're not using the clone. And I don't think you can clone on the Clarion menu anyway. I think it's just basically read from the Clarion menu. So no, not on the app frame. I can't think how you'd be doing that.
Yeah, I don't clone. I like post event,
Do you manually post the event? I meant mimic as in use the mimic function.
I do both.
Right, okay. Well, the mimic is nothing more than mimic the hide and the mimic the Clarion menu. It doesn't manipulate the Clarion menu at all. Thinking about it.
Okay, so I'm actually doing my own post.
Right.
Off of yours and.
No, they definitely don't manipulate the Clarion menu. If you've got hide Clarion menu clicked, then obviously that does. I think it destroys the actual menu bar itself. But you haven't got that.
Maybe I'll turn yours on. Maybe I'll hide Clarion and maybe I'll use yours and like your file edit example and see if it acts differently.
Yeah, I would do anyway if you're going to use the themes, because you look at your here now. They've got the themes applied as you would expect, and this one hasn't. So it's out in the wilderness, so to speak.
Yeah, one of the things I have a problem with is when I do open that secondary window, it has those things on the far right that maybe might act better on that menu, your menu line. Where it says close window, etc. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I'll try that.
They should. Yeah, they should still. They're just no, that's the Clarion multiple MDI.
Oh, wait, stop there! Don't move. Go back.
That one.
What I want to show you is sometimes I have the double icons.
Yeah, we have double icons there. Yeah, I would. Well. The easy option there, I'll be honest with you, is go with ours. That's nothing to do with us. That's the age-old Clarion one, unfortunately. But go with the hide, build your own, or you can ask to build, and we'll go with the same again, and we'll open a couple of them, and we will go through and do the things. And the Clarion one never appears. So
okay.
I haven't got maximum.
And I have to turn on the menu, right? Where do I turn on the menu on your control?
That one is the system menu.
So go
to menu bar.
Yeah.
No, sorry, no options.
Include menu bar.
Yes, sorry, include menu bar. That one. Okay. And then that gives you that tab.
Okay, I'll check those.
Yeah.
I'll try those. Thank you.
No problem. And then, last but not least, Roberto.
Roberto.
Sorry, I'm here.
Oh, we're out of time. Sorry. We
Oh,
can't
man.
Any more questions?
And just quickly for Kevin,
Please stop.
sorry for Richard.
It got to me, like.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you everybody
Richard.
for coming.
Yes, definitely, and more importantly, Roberto, we will get to you. But more importantly, thank you for everyone for sticking around. Yes, apologies, Richard. Sorry. If you type in Noyantis, you'll get all the user groups there. Like I say, we've got a couple to upload, but I think it is only a couple. So that is the best place to get them. Sorry, right, Roberto, fire away.
Yes. Okay, I have a question. It might not even be Noyantis related, but let's see. Whenever I install a new template, and I do build a multi-DLL app,
Yep.
it seems to include every class into the DLL. I don't know why it does it, and I don't know if it's normal that it should be doing that. But sometimes if the classes are not quite, for example, if I install an older version of Noyantis something and then install a newer one, like the classes sometimes get mixed up, and then I can't compile anything at all, and things like that.
There's two things going on there. One is, yes, the central data DLL is responsible for exporting the classes. Now, you are correct. You could say, but if I've got 20 third parties. Yeah, I've got 20 third parties defined.
I've got a list of 40 things in there, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, and that is a failure, including myself here, on the third party supplier of basically to fully correctly define the ABC standards, apply the ABC standards. And Russ Egan, God rest his soul, told me I've got to change them and so on. And he even he gave me a write up on it, and he offered to connect up and so on. It was one of the things we were supposed to do. So, but that is true of everybody, to be fair. I know NetTalk do the same.
I know.
ATX and so on and so forth.
My DLL, everything's in there, and I'm like, why is everything in there?
Yeah, it's the default basically because in your multi-DLL in the data app, you've got a setting there to say, basically export everything, export the variables and the class definitions and so on and so forth.
Right, but is there any way to prevent that?
I think there's a free template which you can add, which lets you exclude and say, I don't want this. I saw it on I was doing some consulting on someone's system. I'll get you the name of it.
But that's just a lot more work on my part.
Of course it is, yes. So that's that. The second part of your question is, you can, you get a Noyantis update, let's say command bars, and you rebuild, and that should work. But you also apply property grid, and you've got an old install of the property grid. It might still be the same version number, but the golden rule is if you're going to apply any of the Noyantis products, re-download it. Even if you think it's still the same version number, re-download it. And the reason for that is we've got the common class, which is the heart of all the classes. Right. And you get an installer from the 1st of the month, and you get an installer from the 10th of the month. When I update on the 10th of the month, I will go and rebuild all the installers. I don't change the version numbers of all the ones that haven't been changed, but the common class, basically, I don't want people to get the common class confused and out of sync. So by rebuilding the older versions with the latest common class, and obviously your new one has the common class in it and on, then you as long as you re-download and reapply, you'll be good to go. Just don't use any old installers. Don't bother storing the installer. Always get the latest. Or if you're going to store them as a combined set.
Here's a poke at you then. We need a suite installer.
No. One of the things I'm going to do, and I've been promising to do for ages, and now I will have the time. It's going to be more of a Christmas project, if truth be told. But I'm going to have the little synchronize application down in the bottom corner, so you don't have to do any more downloading at all. It will just be a little Noyantis app running in the system tray, monitoring new versions for you and letting you know. It won't auto-update, but it will give you the tick box to say there's a new version available. Do you want it? And if you say yes, it'll update your Clarion for you automatically.
Okay.
So that will make things so much easier for everybody.
But that won't do the install. That will just replace the CLWs and TPWs and that, or not? Or would it be a full install?
The what, sorry?
It won't be a full install, or will it? Or will it just?
It will have a look at what products you've got licenses for, and if you've got the full suite, it will bring down and tell you whenever stuff is available on the whole suite. Basically, you won't have to really do any more installers after that. Oh, of course, I will do an installer, but
right, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be an install. It's just going to download the classes or the class file or something like
no, it'll bring down the examples. I'll have it do everything an installer will do.
that.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just basically emulating the installer for you, but emulating it automatically with all the products. Promised it ages ago and never had the time to do it, and I'm thinking this Christmas will be the time where I'll have a little Noyantis system tray icon, and it'll just sit there monitoring. A bit like the Kojot one gives you notifications. I think I've got the Kojot one somewhere. Can't see it for looking. But basically, yeah, it'll be a little one that will just sit there. You tell it what Clarions you have installed, what versions and so on, and it can just keep them in sync for you should you want it to.
So, on creating the classes, is there any way to prevent that besides that template you were talking about?
No, not at all. I mean,
fixing it?
Kevin's just raised a good point there. And he has said the data DLL doesn't know what other DLLs don't know what the other DLLs need need, so they have to include all. But yes, using ABC class standards helps with this. So, but he does raise a point there.
Well, I know that, but I know that. If the other one complains, I know why the reason is because I didn't tick it or I didn't add it. But
yeah, but like for myself, with the skin framework and the docking panes, you do have to add a global extension to the data DLL. But with the other DLLs, with the other products like say calendar, you don't have to add anything to the data DLL. You just add it to the procedure in the application where you want to add it to one of the procedures. So the data DLL does have to export the class because you might want to use it. So he does have a good point there, to be fair. Otherwise, then I'd have to go to the data.
Means that my DLL is bigger than it should.
Yes. So, but I can get you the name of that. I'm sure that I'm sure I saw it in one of the setups that I was working on. So I can. I'll take a quick look and remind me tomorrow, and I'll take a look for you. I think it was a free one, and you can just go onto it and tick exclude, and that will stop it from doing that for you.
From adding it or editing manually, or work like Mark Goldberg. Don't use it.
Okay. I think we've got to wrap it up. If everyone's okay with that. It just seemed like a short one today. It's like only 1 hour, but that's because of my lateness. So apologies. So until next week, John. Hopefully by next week we will show you part of the task, Twilio task helper for the Chillcat wrapper.
That sounds cool.
By the way, the answer's wrong.
The answer's wrong. Which answer?
Yeah.
Oh,
on my question.
Why is the sky blue? It's not.
Yeah, you put X. You put X.
I put X.
That's the wrong answer.
Arnold put X probably.
I was going to say I didn't put X.
just to clear the question.
So, is it blue anyway? I thought it was. Which way around is it? One's clear, one's a reflection of the other. The sky's a reflection of the sea, or something like that. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
That's what the internet's for.
Yeah. So you want Wikipedia? www.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody, and I will see you all next week. John, I'll speak to you in probably a day or so. But
Excellent.
I will see you all very shortly.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.